Cottage and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we have been doing, yesterday we were doing our Christmas pudding. I'm going to take that out the oven today and show you what that looks like in a few minutes. But today we're going to be doing our Christmas cake. And I'm hoping to be able to do this to give away as gifts, so I'm hoping it's going to work. But what I'm thinking of doing is, instead of doing it in a square pan, I'm thinking of doing it in loaf pans. So I've got these £2 loaf tins, and I was thinking of putting them in them and then just putting some icing and some marzipan on the top and giving it away as gifts, get some little decorations to go on the top. So I've got 3 of those. Got 2 new ones in Charlie's yesterday, and I think they were £4.99 a tin or £5.99 a tin. So I've got 3 of these, and they're £2 tins, 900 grams. They are bread tins, but you can use them for cakes as well, and they're non-stick. They're Teflon coated non-stick pans, so I don't need greaseproof paper either, so that's a bonus. I might just put a sheet across the bottom, just so it's easier to lift out, because these aren't the ones that you can push the bottom out. But yeah, we'll see how we get on with that. I do have a square pan as well, so I may do a fruit cake and not a Christmas cake, just as a backup, just to be on the safe side. I might do that as a bad breath or something. But for today, what we're going to do today is we're just going to do the Christmas cake. We're going to put them in these loaf tins, and then I'm going to put them in the oven and just cook them for a few hours and see what happens. Because when you do them in the ordinary oven, you have to cook them for about 4 or 5 hours. So I'm thinking it's only going to be the same in there, isn't it? So we'll have to see. I don't know if they're going to go brown, but we'll just have to see. They may turn out blonde, but you never know. So we'll see how we get on. Anyway, in a few minutes, and once we've done the cake and we're putting the Christmas cake in the oven, I'll take you over and I'll show you the Christmas pudding. So I'll just get the ingredients together for my Christmas cake. There will be a recipe at the end of the video, and you can then make a note of all the ingredients that you need to make it yourself. If you are cooking on wood, you'll then have an idea as to whether it's going to work or not and whether it's worth doing. So that's why I'm doing the video for you. So I'm just going to get my ingredients together, and then we'll put the cakes together, and then we'll go over to the oven and have a look at the puddings. So I'll see you in a minute. Right, okay, so we've got our Christmas cake recipe. I haven't got any cherries, so what I've done instead is I put some of this cranberry sauce in, because I can't be bothered going out, to be honest. If I go to the shop, it's going to take me another half an hour to get on with my cake, and I can't be bothered, so I thought cranberry sauce would be quite nice. I put extra fruit in as well. There's an extra 200 grams of fruit to what the recipe says, so I'm sure we'll be alright. I've added some ground almonds, some of that, 50 grams of that to the sugar. I've done, in here I've got, I think it was 200 grams of sugar, 200 grams of butter and 3 eggs. Now I've used my live preserved eggs, my water glassed eggs, and they're in here, so that's all that's in there. And then in this one here, I've had soaking in orange juice, 1 kilogram of mixed fruit. I put some extra mixed peel in of this stuff. Where are we? There we are. It's called Italian mixed peel. Got it in Tesco. So I put some of that in. We've got our 3 eggs ready to go in. And I haven't got any self-raising flour, so I'm going to use plain flour and put in a bit of baking powder. I've got this brand of baking powder called Be Free, and I got it in the health food shop, £1.50 a tub. You could use bicarbonated soda, but I prefer to use this. So let's get on with our flour. How much flour? 200 grams of flour. Put that back on the worktop. Using digital scales so it'll zero itself. Oh, too much flour. That's why you don't pour it out the bag. Right, there's our flour. I've already added a teaspoon of mixed spice, So you just mix that in slowly. So you don't get flour everywhere. I'm going to add my egg. Now I'm making a non-alcoholic one again so my dad can have some. I used brown sugar, that muscovado sugar I think it's called. I'm going to add the rest of my egg in there. It says to add treacle, a teaspoon of treacle. Now this has been sat on the log burner because it froze. So let's see if it's easier to get out this time. I love making Christmas cake. I make it every year. I've made it every year since I left home. Because it's just such an easy thing to make. You throw it all in one bowl, bung it in the oven for a few hours and it comes out cooked. Hopefully anyway. I'm hoping this time it will because I'm doing it in my Prity stove in my log burner. Love the taste of treacle. It takes me back to my childhood when I used to make Christmas cake with my mum. I make my Christmas pudding every year because my dad doesn't drink alcohol and most Christmas puddings you get in the shop have alcohol in them, have brandy in them, so I purposefully make it so that my dad can have some really because he's teetotal. He doesn't even have the brandy sauce. Right, so that's that. So next I'm going to add some baking powder. I'm not going to add much, just about a teaspoon. Sprinkle it on. I'm using a half teaspoon, so I'll put 2 of them in. And then we've just got to add our fruit. Now, as I said yesterday and earlier, I'm making this in a loaf tin. I'm not going to make it in a cake tin because I want to be able to cut it up and give it to people. So, move my recipe. Let's just check I haven't forgotten anything. It says cooking time 3 to 3.5 hours. So, I'm not sure how long it'll take in the stove. But I thought it was worth a go, seeing as it was a Rayburn recipe. So this is our fruit. It's been soaking in orange juice. Just orange juice out of a carton. Still got the carton. Got it from Tesco's, no added sugar. That one, I think it was about 79p. So I've used a whole one of them between my Christmas pudding and my Christmas cake. So just slowly add the fruit. Like I say, I put cranberries in because I didn't have any cherries. First Christmas cake ever without cherries, can't believe it. Never mind. It'll have marzipan and icing on the top, so I'm sure it'll be just the same. It smells nice anyway with the cranberries in it. I'm not going to add all the liquid. There's not that much left anyway. I might add a little bit more flour because it's a little bit runny. Just a little tiny bit runny. I think those eggs had a little bit of water in them for being glassed. I preserved a load in the summer, so it's nice to be able to use them because they've stopped laying now with all the cold weather we've had. That's better. Got to go and finish the cot in a minute. That's going to get picked up in the next few days, I think. That's better. Because it's going in the wood burner. I'm adding more flour because I don't know how long it'll take to get all the moisture out. So it's had 3 good sized eggs in, so it shouldn't matter. Just to be on the safe side, that's a lot better. Right. Get the dishes out the way. Now, I don't know whether to do this in the cake tin or the cake pan. Can't decide. I've got this cake tin. Do you know, I think I'm just going to do it the traditional method and do it in the cake tin and be done with it. I've got some greaseproof paper. Now, I don't know whether you need to do this method in a wood burner, but I'm going to do it anyway. I haven't got any greaseproof paper, so I'm using some old bags instead. Make do and mend and all that. Right, let's get this in. So I'm not going to put this in until the Christmas pudding's finished because there's not enough room in my oven, so waste not, want not. Nothing wrong with them. But we had Berners tan last night and I don't want to have to go down the road to the shop. So we're still very white outside from having snow last week, and then we've been having -5, -6. Last night in the town it was due to go down to -8, so it's probably gone down to -10 here, so yeah, I really don't want to have to go out. So we've lined our tin, ready. Now I'm going to pour my mixture in. Doesn't work, I can always revert back to the oven. Just the right amount, that. And I've got plenty of fruit, I can always make more. In fact, I might do that anyway. Go next time I'm out, get some cherries and make another one. But I just wanted to try out the stove and see what the oven's like for making cakes and things. It could be a really good cake oven. Right, because the Rayburn's pretty much the same, isn't it? Right, there's our cake. So I'll have to leave that until the Christmas pudding's done because there's not enough room. Bit of tap. Get the air bubbles out. And there's our cake ready for the oven. So when it goes in the oven and we get the Christmas pudding out, I'll take you over and we'll have a look at it together. So see you in a bit. Right, okay, so it's the next day. And the Christmas pudding has finished. It's in here. As you can see, they've cooked nicely. They look like they're cooked all the way down to the bottom. I did cook them in water like I would do in a slow cooker. And they were in the stove, the Prity stove, for about 10 hours, I think. I put them in about 11 o'clock yesterday, but the oven wasn't hot when they went in. And they were in till about 10 o'clock last night. So it was about 10 or 11 hours, but they weren't in a hot oven all that time. They're only in a hot oven for about 5-6 hours, something like that. So, because I didn't want to have the temperature too hot. I didn't want them to burn. But they've cooked really, really nice. In fact, they've cooked nicer than they would in a slow cooker. So I'm just hoping they taste nice. But that's them done. So next we've got our Christmas cake to go in. It's all ready. I did it yesterday. And it's been setting overnight with a piece of paper over the top. So I'm going to pop it into the stove when the stove's hot. In fact, I'm going to pop it in now. And then it's in. So let's go over to the stove. Here's the stove. I've only just lit it. I've only just put my kettles on and they're not boiling yet. I've got an extra shelf on top of the thing that lifts up. This thing lifts up, see. But yeah, I'm going to put it on that shelf. And I'm going to put it in the middle. Like that. Now if I need to, I can push it over because I want to do something in the slow cooker tonight. So I will push it over, but yeah, it's going to stay in there now until I go to bed about 11 o'clock. And we'll see how it cooks. If it needs to come out earlier, I'll take it out earlier. But I think that'll be it. So I'll let you know tomorrow how the cake turns out. And we'll see if we can have our Christmas cake and Christmas pudding cooked for free off grid. Right, okay, so this is the finished Christmas cake. And yeah, we've had some off it already. As you can see, it's turned out really nice. It did burn slightly on the top, but it's really, really moist inside. It tastes really nice. It tastes nicer than what I've done in the oven previously, in the electric oven, because it kept a lot of the moisture in the middle of the cake. But as you can see, it's got a nice glow on the top. And it's really, really tasty. So I'm going to make another one. This one's to be given as gifts. I'm going to put marzipan on the top and icing and chop it up into chunks and give it out as gifts. So I'm going to make us another one, and it's not going to have sugar in it or syrup. It'll just have the treacle, because that'll be better for me on my diet. I won't get the sugar rush. And I've managed to source some dried fruit without rapeseed oil, vegetable oil or cottonseed oil, so that's good as well. And I'm not going to put as much butter in it, and I'm going to put an extra egg in. So yeah, so it's turned out really well. Right, so thanks very much for joining me today. Yeah, I'm going to get on with the rest of my day. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Bye bye.